Hey, what's up? It's Billy,
And Paul from Silverstein.
and you're watching pitcam.tv.
So the last time we interviewed you guys was about a year ago, around the same time as well. What have you guys been doing since then, except for, have you just been in the studio the whole time, or?
Well, no, we've toured the world, it seems. We've been to Europe. This is our third time within a year. We've been to Australia, South America, all over North America, Asia.
Southeast Asia, yeah. We did a full North American tour at the beginning of this year. But at the same time, we were in the studio and we did release a record in that time. And we did spend quite a bit of time at home working on that and recording that and everything. So
It's kind of like touring at home, going to the studio real quick, and then we're back on a tour, and then...
The same routine of 12 years. It's back and forth and all that stuff.
Is that why the songs are so short?
There's not enough time to write full songs.
So that's what we're going to talk about now, the 6th album, short songs. It's 20 minutes long altogether. You guys could actually just play like a whole show with all the songs. Have you guys planned on doing that, or have you been doing that since you've been on tour?
Well, like for these sets, I think especially like being a proper headline show in Germany, which doesn't happen so often, we wanted to really give like a best of set. Like, with 6 albums, it's hard to even know what to play, so we kind of pull them all together. But we might once in a while do all the short songs, or who knows.
we've been playing about five or six of them in a show, which is cool because it's good to kind of give something fresh and new, and we can kind of just like bang off a few of them in a few minutes. So that's really fun. It's also cool with the kind of cover song element, to break up the set that way and have some songs that are a little bit different from our own songs. And it's something kind of cool for us as well. Like we're playing our songs for our fans, but then we're able to play songs by bands that we're fans of. So it's kind of a good little treat for us in the middle of the set.
Do you guys feel like it's a difference playing a 90-second song to a 3-minute song? I mean, you get all pumped up, and then all of a sudden the song's like over.
Yeah, I think so. Like definitely for sure there's like been times where you kind of get really into a song and then it's like, oh, okay, it's done. But I think we squish them together so much that we'll just go into the next song. But yeah, there's definitely times. I know that once we kind of came back to playing a lot of the like 3-4 minute songs after doing the short songs record, it was like, wow, like is this song still going on? Like who needs a second verse? So.
How did you guys come up with the idea? I mean, was it kind of like you listened to all the cover songs first and thought like, oh, we want to do this as well, or?
Well, we did a 7-inch last year for Record Store Day in North America, and we had side B was 3 short cover songs because that's all we could physically fit into the time, because on a 7-inch is pretty short, and that kind of spawned the whole idea, which snowballed into this like record that's 22 tracks. Originally I think it was going to be an EP, and then we're like, oh, we'll just go have some fun and see what happens, but it really became a lot bigger than we expected.
Yeah, once we started trying to pick, like we originally we did those cover songs for the 7-inch, and then we started writing some songs of our own, and then we started doing some more cover songs, and then wrote more songs. Like it just kept getting more and more. Like as far as the picking of cover songs went, it was like, oh well, I want to do this, and oh well, what about this? And the thing too is we found that so many bands that have influenced us in different ways and of different genres have shorter songs, so we didn't want to just do skate punk songs or hardcore songs or whatever. Like there's some different stuff on there, and so we wanted to, once we started playing a few covers, we're like, oh well, like what about this song, and that's a little different, and oh then maybe we should do this, and then once we started writing original songs, it was like they just kind of kept coming. And I don't know, I think it was cool too because we all like all 5 band members wrote songs for the record and kind of kept coming with new parts, and it was a really like exciting writing process. So.
Is the song from the Dead Kennedys, short songs? Is that where you got the idea for the name of the album, or is that the favorite song?
It just made sense, I think. I mean,
we were talking about doing the record and doing the cover songs, and then like that song kind of came up, and we're like, oh, we gotta cover it. And like Shane originally was like, oh yeah, like we should totally cover we should totally cover short songs by Dead Kennedy. He's like, it's perfect. And then I was kind of like, oh well, we should just like call the record I Like Short Songs. But then we're like, oh, that's a little bit too corny or whatever. But then we got the idea to like have like friends of ours do the thing, and it's just kind of like turned out to be pretty fun that like we got all of our friends. And
it was kind of like almost a half joking. We were like, we're sitting in the dressing room in Philadelphia one day, and we're like, well, it says short songs like 10 times or whatever, so let's get 10 different people to sing it. Yeah. Ha ha ha. And then
we just like
3 weeks later.
Yeah, sent out a few emails, and it started to happen. So.
Did you guys want more people, or was it just like a choice of the guest stars that are on there?
We picked like quite a few people. Like
we
wanted
people
to have,
that we knew.
Yeah, we wanted to have like basically the way that it happened was there's a certain amount of times that it says I like short songs, and so that was like our goal of like spots to fill.
Yeah.
And then we definitely made like a list of like, oh well, let's see if like Dave Grohl will do it. You know what I mean? Like we kind of like, there was a wish list of people that we wanted to kind of reach out to, and from that list, some people that were like really high on our list, like right away, were like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do it. You know, like Chris from Propaganda was one of the first people who responded. Definitely the first person that like recorded it.
Yeah.
He was like so keen to do it. So, and then like Tim from Rise Against was like one of our first picks, and like right away he was stoked to do it. So, but then definitely like there becomes a difference between when like you get a great idea and you ask a friend like, oh hey, do you want to do this? Then when you like actually get them to do it. So there became a point in time where it was like we were kind of scrambling, and we were like, oh no, we gotta get this done. So definitely towards the end, some friends of ours that like live in Toronto, like last minute, were like, okay, well we'll get this guy to do it. And it wasn't that they were like the last pick or anything, but it was like definitely like, okay, cool, like we got a couple extra spots, like let's make this happen today.
Yeah, we need to just fill it out, I think, with like different people, so it would sound cool, and then people are going to be guessing who's who, and we just thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I also read that you guys were in New Zealand for the first time.
We're going to New Zealand for the first time. Yeah, in June. This June, we're hitting New Zealand for the first time.
Yeah. So.
Are you excited? Are you thinking maybe the fans will be differently? Like, or
We've been to Australia 5 times, I think, now, and we've never been to New Zealand. We've only ever stopped there at the airport, so we've all kind of been itching to go to New Zealand, and now it's finally going to happen. So we assume that it's going to be pretty similar to Australia, which is one of our favorite places to play in the world. So, but just going to places that we've never been to before is like all we really want to do now. It's really cool to come back and play, you know, bigger shows in places we've been. But there's something like really exciting about going somewhere for the first time and like really breaking that ground and trying to like reach new fans that we've never played for before. So
yeah, I was gonna ask. It feels like you guys have been everywhere almost. Is there like a place that you guys haven't been to and that you're going to now, except for New Zealand?
yeah, China has like been high on the list.
Unannounced.
Unannounced.
But yeah, we're going to China in June as well. So New Zealand and China are all part of the same tour, which is something that it just like it was a wish list thing, and it just kind of came together.
I feel like China has been like any time that anyone in an interview has said like, oh, well, where do you want to go? It's like, oh, I want to go to China, and then all of a sudden it's
China?
like
It's
yeah, our
crazy.
agent calls and said like, hey, you guys want to go to China? Like, heard you want to go to China or whatever. So, but we actually just went to Russia as well at the beginning of this tour, and that was something that we never thought would happen. And we always kind of said jokingly like, oh yeah, like maybe we'll go to Russia, and it was amazing. Like we had a sold out show in Moscow, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like that'll be the end of your list? That's everywhere you've been already then?
No, I mean,
Oh,
we've
no,
played
that's-
about,
yeah.
like, we will have played, I think, by the end of this year, probably almost 40 countries worldwide. But we definitely want to, there's still places we'd go. I mean, we're still going to revisit. I mean, like, that's the whole thing is, like, we can come to Germany and places like this and play. And there's a lot of other time in the year that we could easily be going to new places and working on further in our career, you know, like, and because you only can come to Germany maybe once a year. Otherwise, people are like, oh, we're sick of you. So we got to go other places. I think for us, I think another big goal is we're trying to get to India, which is starting to open up to like a lot of like Western music, especially like aggressive, heavy stuff. So it'd be really cool to do that.
Yeah, there's tons of places in the world that we've always, you know, wanted to go. Africa and Dubai and Greece and
What happened? Just saying, Africa.
yeah, right. Well, I mean, like, there's the list is, you know, the world is a very big place, so like we're gonna go wherever we can.
You've been to Europe like a few times. Is it kind of like when your manager says, "Okay, you're going to Europe," you're just like, "All right, Mom, going to Europe for 2 weeks," or is it kind of like you still get stoked for it just a little bit?
I think we get excited because I think we're like there's familiarity because we've been here. It's still awesome. It's still it's better than like middle of America where it's like there's nothing going on. There's no culture. There's no history. There's nothing. You know what I mean? It's same old stuff but even with this tour, we're going to places we've never been to before, which is awesome.
I think tomorrow we play in Warsaw, and we're going to Bratislava for the first time. We're going to Budapest. I know we're playing parts of Italy that we've never played before. We're going to Rome, which I'm really excited about. And at the same time, too, like when we come to Europe, sometimes we'll just kind of come to Germany or just do some festivals and stuff. But there's definitely, like, we just went back to Scandinavia for the first time in 4 years. And we're going down to Spain and to Paris and some places that we don't always get to go every year. So it's nice to come back to Europe and play the familiar places where we know the shows are going to be awesome. But then it's also really cool to like kind of venture out to places we don't get to go as much.
Yeah, like it's nice when you come to like say Cologne and you know the city, you're familiar with it, you know where you can eat, you know some cool things to do, you know the show will be good. But it's cool to like go to a place like Budapest and like I don't even know what to expect. I've never been to that city, I've never played there, I don't know anything about it, so it'll be cool.
If you guys could give a music Oscar to any band that's maybe done something new in 2012 or maybe one of your favorite bands, who would you want to give it to?
I think it's called a Grammy.
You know what I mean.
I think the band that I would give it to got one.
Skrillex?
Yeah, Skrillex. No. I know
huge Skrillex
fan. Yeah, no. But I know Paul and I will agree with me. But we really love that new Bon Iver record, and we both got to see him play recently at the most beautiful venue in Toronto, and I think that record was my favorite, definitely my favorite record that came out last year. One of my favorite records of the last decade. Like really innovative and crosses over lots of genres, and it's just really impressive the like instrumentation and the extra stuff that was added on. I thought as well as like it was a departure from the last record, but definitely a growth and like way more like going on. It was really cool.
Is that one of the bands you guys been like listening to recently, or what do you listen to while you're on the road?
Well, I mean, I think both of us have been listening to Bon Iver since the first record, which is probably about 4 years ago now. But
listen to different stuff on the road. I know that I've actually been listening to this band that we saw in Copenhagen the other day called Mount Erie, and I've been listening to it's just one guy, but he has different kind of like sounds for different records, and you never really know what to expect when he puts out a record. My favorite record of his, he recorded in Canada with an artist from Eastern Canada called Julie Dorian, and that's my favorite record of his. But then we just saw him play by himself. He was opening for this kind of heavy band called Earth, and he just kind of got up there with like a 12-string guitar and was like, "Hey, I got some new records coming out, so like here's all songs you've never heard before," and just like played.
Crushed us.
Yeah, because he's got like I know I personally am into like 4 or 5 of his records, but I know Paul probably has like 10 or 12 of them.
Yeah, he has so many albums.
So many albums
that
you really never know what you're gonna expect. But I was like pretty stoked on the stuff that he played, but I'd love to hear it on a record first.
Yeah.
You guys have 2 final last words. Only 2 though.
Awesome. No.
Inside joke. You're like the monster of it all. I was gonna say if I say I like, you say
short song.
Yay!
I thought I only could say one word.
No, we get 2.
We get 2 words each.
All right, we'll try it again. We'll just pretend that never happened. So you guys have last 2 words.
Last 2 words. I like
short songs.
I like short. Oh no, that's 3. Ah! Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.